This PowerPoint will be to explore the Brace map, one of the 8 thinking maps that we will explore during this course. As we mentioned before, thinking maps are patterns for limitless learning. In fact, they are 8 specific visual patterns connected to 8 specific cognitive skills. They can be applied in all content areas at all grade levels and can be used in combination for depth and complexity. Whole-to-part relationships is a thinking process required of students in many settings or situations. Thinking Maps has a specific map to celebrate this thought process. It is called the Brace map. The Brace map helps students to visually represent that thought process, the thought process of whole-to-part relationships. Most often, the Brace map is used to capture an idea, concept, or thing and its component parts, or the things that make it up. This can also be used with ideas. Main ideas can be broken down into supporting details. This is very useful for deciphering challenging text in both literature and in content area reading. There are many examples of the Brace map in school classrooms and in content areas. This first example shows a Brace map that describes the parts of a butterfly. The butterfly here is described as having 3 parts, a head, thorax, and abdomen. And from those parts, the head is made up of subparts, the thorax of subparts, yet the abdomen is left alone to stand by itself. Notice, too, that within the thorax there are 6 legs and 4 wings, and that is then subdivided into the parts that make up those 6 legs, 2 forelegs and 4 hind legs. While the print on this example is quite small, it shows the parts of a plant. It is very similar to the previous example, the parts of a butterfly. This shows how things were taken and how everything has equal numbers of component parts. That is not always required. Certainly, if a part has more or less subparts, you would note those and make that section bigger or more divided than the other sections. In math, we can pull apart numbers with the Brace map. Here you see the number 78,596. We can pull that apart to 70,000, 8,000, 500, 90, and 6. And if you wanted to go from there, you could break those components into other parts as well. This example certainly explores place value. We can also use this map in literature study by examining the parts of text genre. Here you can see that the text genre texts are divided into literature and informational text, and then those are subdivided, or the parts of those are, in literature, fictional narratives, poetry, and drama. And within fictional narratives, you have a large number of specific types of literature. In poetry, though, you have fewer. This is an example of how important it is to break each idea into its component parts and to be truthful or honest with yourself, with the map, in how many pieces there really are, and to reflect those in the Brace map that you create. To teach the map to students, simple examples with personal meaning are often the best. This Brace map example draws on school uniforms, a concept certainly important to students, and one that they all have a personal connection to and understanding of. A school uniform can be broken into the top, the bottom, and the feet. The top can involve a polo shirt. The polo shirt might even be subdivided into the colors that are acceptable to be worn. The bottom is divided into pants and a belt, and the feet are into socks and shoes. This example of the parts of a guitar could be from a music classroom. The next two maps show variations on a similar topic. This is a reminder that thinking maps can be differentiated very easily based on learning needs. This map is about body systems. The digestive, circulatory, respiratory, and nervous systems are all represented. And then the component parts of each of those systems is represented. In this model, which is probably for younger students, human body systems is divided into all of the types of systems that there are, that the students may have studied, or that they understand there are in their bodies. Notice here too that the students have included illustrations. Illustrations, drawings, are a perfectly acceptable way to show what one knows in building these kinds of maps. These maps can be used across all grade levels, and this is an example of that. This social studies example breaks the world apart into continents and oceans, and further into the specific continents and specific oceans, and then the specific continents into specific countries located on those continents. Notice that this map is framed and includes the student's frame of reference. How do they know this information? How did they figure this out? What is their reference? They've noted three things here. That the third grade social studies book was one of the areas or things that helped them. Looking at a map was also helpful, and that they studied the continents and oceans when they were in third grade. All thinking maps can be framed to include frame of reference for the student or for the developer of that particular map. In summary, the Brace map is a tool for visually representing the thought process of whole-to-part relationships. You will have an opportunity to use the Brace map to pull apart or to take an idea and pull its component parts, major parts, out of that and showcase it using this brace map, or visually represent it using this brace map. You'll find more information about that as you move through the assignments in this module of your learning environment.